we are in Brent Central, which is now a combined portion of Brent South and Brent East. We had Brent North, Brent South, and Brent East. But due to boundary changes, we now have a Brent Central, which incorporates a part of Brent East. Now the competition here is hotting up very much so because of it's not only the Conservatives and Labour, but we now have a Liberal Democrat, Sarah Tether, who is supposed to be a rising Liberal Democrat star. And of course it's going to be very, very competitive because she won Brent East, a seat formerly held by Ken Livingstone. So now that has become a part of Brent South. The competition is heated up quite a lot. And we now have Dawn Butler of the Labour Party standing in Brent Central, as well as Sarah Tether and some others whom I will identify later on. But we are outside Furness Primary School, where Dawn Butler is actually meeting parents, and I hope to get her on microphone to say something to you. You can see the parents gathering here, and they're all, whatever language they're speaking, they're saying something about the Labour Party. So while we're here, let's see if we can talk to a few parents and talk to Dawn at the same time. Robert, can we get you on camera here?
Yes.
This is Robert Evans, and you used to be an MEP.
I did, yes.
When did you stop being an MEP?
I was an MEP until last year. I stopped in July last year, member of the European Parliament, but I'm here now supporting Dawn for this very important election on the 6th of May.
Now, why has this seat become so competitive?
Well, it's because they merged two seats. They used to be Brent South and Brent East, and now they've effectively been merged into Brent Central because of the change in boundaries. So this is a key seat. It's a very important seat, and that's why it's vital that every Labour voter comes out to vote on 6th of May.
But this used to be very strongly Labour, so I understand there is a great deal of competition. I can't understand exactly why.
Well, a lot of it goes back to the by-election at the time of the Iraq War when Labour lost Brent East. Things have changed a bit. There's no Conservative vote round here. People have stopped voting Conservative, so now it's very much between Labour and the Liberal Democrats. But we've got a very strong candidate. Dawn has been an excellent Member of Parliament for Brent South. She's well known, she's well liked. She's the first black woman to become a minister in any government. We're very proud of Dawn and her record for Brent, and she'll continue to represent the people for many years to come.
Well, something's worrying me today. Today I see on the news, it seems as though they're blaming Gordon Brown for everything, even including almost the Icelandic volcanic eruption.
Well, when you're Prime Minister of a country, you have to take the rough with the smooth, and things go well, you don't always get the credit for it. Things go badly, you get blamed for it. But Gordon Brown has always had his finger on the pulse, and from the view of the economy, he's called it right every time. He has, where he's led the way, other countries have followed his initiatives, bailing out the banks, supporting the economy, investing in the economy, and that's why it's important that we continue to have a Labour government after the general election.
Well, thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, on the same day as the general election, there's also a local election, which means that our local councillors are here as well campaigning. We have a candidate here, Claudia Hector, who is a Labour candidate for the area. We hope to get more of them on camera, but we have Claudia Hector here. Hello, Claudia.
Hello, how are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. How's the campaign going?
Oh, not bad. As you can see, there are lots of people here who've got an interest in the future with their children.
Right.
We need to have Labour back in power if these children are going to have decent schools and an economy, so they've got jobs to go to at the end of it.
Well, one of the problems we have now in Brent seems to be we already have a coalition, a Con-Lib pact running Brent. Now Brent again used to be very strongly Labour, and there's now a Con-Lib pact. What impact has that had?
Well, as no doubt you know, one of the things that happened as soon as we lost power was that they started charging people to have large items of rubbish removed. Now, some of us will pay for our old sofas to be removed, but others just, well, they go fly tipping. And now something I've noticed every year is that they've been doing dreadful things like putting up charges for home helps for old people, things like that. Whilst they've also been putting up the community charge as well. I did actually think when they came to power maybe the community charge wouldn't go up. They cut everything and keep it down, but they haven't. It's gone up every year, so we've had the worst of both worlds.
Well, with this Liberal Democrat surge since Clegg appeared on television, I suppose they're getting a really big boost now, aren't they?
I suppose they are, but I'm hoping on people have had a real chance to think about it. I mean, that's what matters, isn't it? Really debating things, not who can turn a clever phrase and look handsome and smart on television. I hope people will think about it a bit more deeply than that.
Do you think that this will have any impact on the general election?
Well, the debate?
Yes.
I think it probably will. But I'd rather not think too much about that. I'd rather think just about getting the vote out for Labour.
Well, thank you very much, Claudia. And best of luck to you as well.
And you. Bye.
As I pointed out before, on May the 6th, there's also a local election, which means that local councillors are here campaigning as well. Now, I have with me one local councillor here who is James Powney, who is a sitting Labour councillor. James, how are you finding it?
Very good to be out today in this wonderful weather with these excited children.
Well, Dawn seems to be very busy over there, but basically
you've got some crowd control going on.
Yes, I realize that. But what are we campaigning on? What are our general policies? Very briefly, tell us what our policies are.
Well, we want to abolish £25 charge, which has led so much fly tipping in the area. We want to increase the amount of money being spent because the government's giving us £85 million for secondary schools to be rebuilt and £15 million for primary schools to expand their places. So we want to do that. We want to improve Willesden Junction, which is in a bit of a state, and we want to improve all the traffic problems around Harlesden Town Centre. So those are the local issues.
But basically there's a lot of work going on at Willesden Junction at the moment. I'm sure the local residents will want to know what is going on. What's happening?
They're increasing the capacity of North London line because of the Olympics, and when the Olympics come along we reckon we'll get about £3 million to improve Harlesden Town Centre. But we also need to stop all the dumping around Willesden Junction and clean up the area which is polluted.
Well, Dawn seems to be very busy, but basically outside of local politics, what is the main policy of the Labour Party, I mean of the National Party? What are we campaigning on?
Nationally, it's choice between the Labour Party that believes in a positive role for government and the Tory Party that just wants to cut things in order to make government as small as possible.
And what about this upsurge of Clegg?
Well, Clegg won the X Factor at leaders' debates. But people who win the X Factor don't always go on to win, do they?
Well, no.
They often go into obscurity.
Yes, he seems to be caught like a rabbit in the headlights, but basically the thing about it is probably it's going down very well with all the people around here.
Well, for the moment, but then next week there'll be someone different, I expect.
And then remember, we also have Sarah Tether, who is a rising Liberal Democrat star. Does that have some effect on the outcome?
Well, I think Sarah Tether will be a rising government star until Thursday, and then she'll suddenly find that people are less likely to speak to her.
All right, well, we watch this space.
Hi, my name's Dawn Butler and I'm the Labour Party candidate for Brent Central, and I'm urging everyone to come out and vote. At this election it's really important, and what you have to look at are the MPs that have delivered. I've delivered locally for Brent, for the children, for the parents, for those people that are in need, all these schools. £100 million we've got invested in new schools, £5 million for a new youth centre. We've invested lots of money and time in areas such as Brent so that people can fulfil their full potential. And what we want in the Labour Party is a future that's fair for all. Thank you.
Well, you've had a good flavour of the coming election. We had Labour councillors on, I mean I said that local councillors because the local election is on the same day, and you've also seen the Labour candidate for the area who is really the sitting MP, Dawn Butler.